Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to our bi-weekly media briefing. It's always a pleasure to welcome you to Aurora and to our City Hall. I'll open for questions shortly, but there are a couple of things I'd like to highlight prior to doing so. Today we'll focus on the importance of the month of June and how Aurora is preparing for two different important initiatives. June is National Internet Safety Month. With the school year ending, children will be spending more time online, and the City of Aurora wants to assist residents in making sure they are ready and prepared. Last month we unveiled a new City of Aurora technology strategic plan, and part of that plan was the focus on cybersecurity both in City Hall and in the community. Today we are launching a new initiative to do just that. I'm going to turn it over to Chief Information Officer Michael Piggies, who will be joined by President and CEO of Prairie Technologies for this announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, the City of Aurora's IT department is collaborating with KnowBe4 and Prairie Technology Solutions, the world's largest internet security awareness training platform, to offer Aurora residents a free home internet security course. As part of the city's technology strategic plan that was unveiled in February, the IT department has a keen focus on cybersecurity and protecting all stakeholders from unethical and unsafe online activities. We have heightened our online security throughout the city to provide ongoing training to all our employees. We are encouraging our citizens to take those same precautions and providing tools to do so. The Home Internet Security Course provides citizens a user-friendly tool. The course is designed to assist all citizens in making wise decisions when it comes to internet usage. Using real-time examples, these interactive videos show the dangers of internet usage and what citizens need to do to stay safe. The 8 lessons includes passwords, online banking security, keeping your identity safe, avoiding malware, keeping personal information confidential, protecting your children online, securing your home network, and email attachments. Each section has a live demonstration showing the online criminals how they take advantage of unsuspecting users, and finish up with a security check quiz at the end. To get started for this course, you can visit www.aurora-il.org/home course. Enter the password home course in lowercase when prompted. Citizens are encouraged to take a snapshot of the final completion screen to post on social media using the hashtag #AuroraSafeOnline. And remember, technology doesn't make a city smart, the people do. And I'll pass it over to John from Prairie Technologies.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. This home internet safety course is a great example of the city working with its IT security vendors to provide benefits to the citizens of Aurora. This is a side benefit of a service that we provide to the city to provide user awareness training, internet safety in the corporate environment here within the city of Aurora. And it's a great way to bring that same level of awareness and user safety to your homes. We all have a lot of critical and proprietary information on our computers at work, and yet we probably all have even more personal information on our computers at home, and do probably less to protect that information, and probably less to train the users of our computers at home to help protect that information. So again, it's a great example of the city working with its IT security vendors to bring additional benefits to the citizens of Aurora at no extra cost, and it's just a great thing for you and your families to take advantage of. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Before we move on, if there are any questions on the course, of course, visit our homepage of the website to learn more and take this course for yourselves. Thank you, gentlemen. Now let's focus on another June activity that I'm guessing most of you are here for anyway. That's the 2019 Aurora Pride Parade. Last Friday, Indivisible Aurora announced the cancellation of the 2019 Aurora Pride Parade and the activities associated. I also issued a statement where I began by expressing my disappointment. Well, throughout the course of the weekend, that disappointment only heightened as we all heard from the community and the key stakeholders. Much of the conversation centered on a new special events ordinance, which in part passes along costs to private events, such as the Pride Parade, to the event organizers, and the actual cost of $28,000 for this event. Just so we are all on the same page, I've asked Lieutenant Thomas of Aurora Police Department, Gina Moga, and Special Events Manager to provide a breakdown of those costs.
Speaking just solely for the police department, there's multiple components to policing any event. Traffic control, crowd management, operational readiness, intelligence. So when we determine a staffing need for an event, we look at all those components. The numbers, I don't know, were they on the screen?
On the screen.
Okay. The numbers you are seeing are strictly the officers that will be hired to work this event. There are a number of officers who have the ability to exchange their regular duty days, and they will also be at the event, working the event, but I'd rather not provide the exact number of officers who will be policing this event, because that could compromise our ability to successfully police this event. So the breakdown is solely for the officers who are going to be hired overtime to work that event.
And that breakdown, as you see, amounts to $18,943.90, which includes lieutenants, sergeants, patrolmen, and cadets to assist in that. Is that correct? All right. So now, Ms. Moga, if you would give the other breakdown.
Of course. So the breakdown for everything not related to APD for the event would be the crowd control barricades at a cost of $7,000. The other barricades that the street department delivers, which you'll see are $240. The dump trucks, which are a security measure that we, along with a lot of other communities, are doing, as well as some street department and fire department personnel.
Which gives a total cost of $9,456. All right, as I said in my statement Friday, I don't believe a monetary gap should stop momentum gained from last year's inaugural parade. Indivisible Aurora announcement on Saturday, which is an amount of $11,000 raised thus far by the organization, which leaves $17,000 to be raised. Let me ask the Executive Director of Indivisible Aurora, Chuck Adams, to join me. Chuck and his team worked hard last year to put on a magnificent event. I'm a firm believer in not giving up or not giving in, especially when it's something that you believe in. Chuck and I spoke on Sunday evening and had a very candid conversation that brought us to today. To all of us, to all of our Aurora, to all of our LGBTQ community who spoke with a loud, resounding voice, and to all of our supporters, I'm happy to say the Board of Directors of Indivisible Aurora has agreed to reverse the decision and not cancel the Pride Parade. The 2019 Aurora Pride Parade is back on. However, now the work begins to raise the necessary funds to have another amazing event. This is not an insurmountable goal, but it is a goal that must be met expeditiously. For the sake of planning for the event, a 2-week window opens today to raise those funds. From now until the end of the month on Tuesday, April 30th, Indivisible Aurora will lead the campaign and reach out to individuals, residents, businesses, and organizations near and far. I am committing the city to assist with that publicity so that we can cast a net far and wide. In addition, we have made Indivisible Aurora aware of the city's neighborhood festival funding, which grants to groups hosting public events that acquaint residents with each other while educating participants about the Aurora community. Between those grant funds and other sponsorship dollars already committed today, the campaign is off to a solid start, even before it was officially announced. Let me turn over to Chuck Adams to share about ways to donate to the cause.
Thank you, Mayor. We are opening the campaign back up and are very, very glad to do so. I know that many of you will be asking what has changed. And what has changed for Indivisible Aurora, quite frankly, is just the ferocity and intensity, the sense of ownership that folks had for this parade that came through over this weekend. I know that I felt it. I think the mayor felt it as well, and led us to continue having conversations to look for a fiscally responsible way forward. Through his partnership and his leadership, we believe we found that way. And so you can write a check to us at Indivisible Aurora. Our address is on the press release, but I'll give it to you here. It's 3015 East New York Street in Aurora. The suite number is A2-274. If you need more information, you can get a hold of me at our website as well. Additionally, we have reopened the campaign on GoFundMe, so you can search for that under the 2019 Aurora Pride Parade. You should see it there. Jim Cordy in the car with a Got Love sign. That's the official campaign. So take a look at that. Give some money. We have 2 weeks. We're going to make this a success, bigger than it was last year. And with the help of the mayor and his staff and the folks from ADP and others, we are looking forward to putting on a great show for you. Thank you.
So now we'll open it up for any questions that the media may have.
What's the exact dollar amount that needs to be raised?
The exact dollar amount right now is $17,000.
How much have you already raised if you said there's some money that's off to a great start?
Off to a great start. We've raised right now $4,500.
And is that some of that you said grant money from the city?
Some of that is grant money based on the festival's
How much did the city contribute?
3,000.
3,000?
Yes, that's correct. And Aurora Downtown at this point has granted 1,500. However, may cover additional costs as well. And we'll be working that out once we get our budget down over the next week.
Does that mean that you need about $12,000?
At this point, if you subtract 17, subtract it,
Journalist.
4,000, yeah, it's $12,000.
But don't feel like you have to stop there.
Right, right,
You keep
right.
on going and giving.
Where would extra money go?
Well, there are a number of other events that we plan to have, throughout that weekend. It's just not going to be the Pride Parade itself. We'll tell you what. I'll let.
Yeah. Some of that money will go for operational costs. Besides just the city services that we have to pay for, we have to pay for things like potties for bodies. We have to pay for dumpsters and trash cans and recycling and stages and things like that as well. So operational funds will come from some of that. Additionally, we're looking to have some of the otherwise scheduled events that were planned for Saturday and hold those as well. So we're talking to some of our partners who we had originally planned to see if they can still come in, have something for families in the afternoon and something for adults in the evening at one of the local pubs.
Last year was the first year of the Pride Parade here in Aurora, correct?
That's correct.
That was not met without controversy. Were there a lot of people speaking out loudly this year saying, good, we don't want you to come back? Was there any of that? Any backlash?
I believe the overwhelming expression that we got this time was we wanted the Pride Parade to continue. Most of the folks that reached out to the city of Aurora talked about the fact that we had such a successful inaugural year that it'd be a shame not to continue on. Yes, sir.
I can say that when the Pride Parade was canceled, there were 3 churches and the synagogue who said we were going to do our own thing with the Pride Parade, some rallies or something. So the support was there. I got a call yesterday from the Naperville church that said they wanted to participate. So the religious community that participated last year is very strongly behind this, and we want to see it continue. So we're glad that the news is good today.
Absolutely. And when we're done, there you go. And when we're done with this briefing, I'd like to, if you haven't already met Chuck here, I'd like to introduce you, Chuck, so we can talk about how we can work together. Yes, you.
I go to his church.
Oh, there you are. There we go. Well, good. Well, how we can continue to raise. How we can continue. There you go. Well, then we need a partnership with some of those other organizations that are interested, so we can make sure we are successful over the next 2 weeks raising these funds. Any other questions?
Back on for the original date, June 8th and 9th?
Absolutely.
It is.
Yes, ma'am.
How many other parades are there throughout the city throughout the year that are not funded at all by the city that might come to you and say, well, you've given this much funding, for this parade and we want the same kind of consideration?
Well, we'll continue to work with any organization or group that wants to put on an event in the city of Aurora. And recognizing the costs for police and safety of our citizens, we know that there's a burden that has to be met. So what we'll be doing as a city, as administration, is talking about how we can help these organizations meet this burden. We've got to ensure our safety, ensure that we have the requisite amount of police officers and barriers, make sure we have everything we need to keep our citizens safe. But knowing that costs money, we're going to try to meet in the middle the best way we can.
Are there any retired police officers or even police officers that want to help the cause that could actually volunteer and not cost the city money?
Well, I won't speak on that. I'll let the police department speak on whether that's even a possibility.
Are there other parades that have been canceled?
Hold on one second. Questions on this?
Is there any chance that any police officers that want to volunteer to help the cause?
Yeah, we need, they rely heavily on volunteers. Yeah, the success of the parade really last year was because of the partnership that we had working with Indivisible Aurora and educating them on some of the challenges they might face as a volunteer. And so anybody that wants to volunteer would be welcome, whether it's retired police officers specifically or anybody.
Is there any way increasing the number of volunteers could actually decrease the costs that the city has to pay?
As far as the police
security,
department?
Right.
No, the volunteers have a different role from the
okay.
police department. Yeah.
Thank you. You had a question over there, ma'am.
Have any other parade organizers told the city this year that they are canceling parades?
One
Because of
other.
the city costs. And which parade is that?
That was the Puerto Rican parade.
And when typically is that held?
The last week in July.
Mayor, could you explain which of the parades are sort of covered under this and which aren't? Because there are some that are city parades, right? And they
Memorial Day parade, 4th of July parade, and Fiestas Patrias are considered city sanctioned parades.
Veterans Day.
And Veterans Day.
How much was Indivisible Aurora? Were they charged anything last year for police, fire, city services?
I'll have legal counsel answer this question.
Last year, Indivisible Aurora would reimburse the city $7,000, and according to the totals we had, it was $41,730.26 with police services, ILEAS, street workers, and miscellaneous, including the barricades.
The cost that I'll answer, and I'm going to answer
I'm
that.
here on behalf of the Aurora Puerto Rican Cultural Council, and our parade was canceled this year due to the cost involved. We're very saddened because we've been around for 47 years, and the opportunity that's being offered to the Pride, I believe it should be offered to us as well. So I am interested in talking to someone about that, because we've been around 47 years.
Totally understand. I'm sure after this media briefing that someone from the administration will definitely be reaching out to you. What was it, Mr. Lord, you had a question?
I think I asked it.
Did you? Just to be clear, I'm sorry, there's a question.
I have a question regarding the barricades. I understand it's a new safety feature for the parades to have, which is a good thing according to experts in this. Is the city considering purchasing barricades since the cost is so high and there's so many parades happening in Aurora every year?
We did look at the cost of the barricades, of purchasing them, but when we looked at the cost of purchasing, storing, buying special trucks to actually put them on, hiring people, all of our parades are on Sundays, most of them are on holidays, of bringing people out on double time to set them up and take them down, we instead decided to go out for a formal bid. So we did finalize, I believe, that bid back in February or March, and that is more economical than actually purchasing them at this time.
Any additional questions? All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out and participating in this briefing. We'll see you in a couple weeks.